Are you there? And probably you've been seeking to know who Jesus is. You'll be asking, what does it mean to be saved? This thing that people say, I'm born again, or like, what does that mean? So I want to briefly present this to you. So stay with me. So when God created the heavens and the earth in the beginning, He created everything. But I want to fast forward, come to when He created the first human beings, that was Adam and Eve. He placed them in the Garden of Eden. They were perfect human beings who did not have sin existing in them. So they had a perfect relationship between them and God. And God will visit them in the garden. So the relationship within them was a perfect one, and it was good. Because now when you read the book of Genesis chapter 3, we see, because when God placed them in that garden, He gave them instruction. So He allowed them to eat of everything in the garden, gave them a dominion over the animals, and actually allowed them to dominate over them. He gave them authority to multiply. But except for one thing, told them, but do not eat of the fruit in the middle of the garden. So there's this forbidden fruit that God told them not to take. But now the enemy, the serpent, shows up in Genesis chapter 3 and meets Eve. And he deceived Eve and told her that you can eat of the fruit. And Eve told the serpent that God said that if we eat it, we shall die. But then the serpent told her, no, actually when you eat it, you will not die. You will become like God. So Eve was deceived, ate the fruit, gave it to Adam, they ate. So that is how sin entered the earth, because man disobeyed God. They sinned in their disobedience. So immediately their eyes were opened and they realized that they were naked. And they started hiding from God. That's how sin exposes us and makes us feel shameful, comes with shame. And so when God came looking for them, they hid from Him and they told Him, we are naked. And God asked them, who told you that you are naked? Have you eaten the fruit? So sin entered the life of Adam and Eve, and the perfect relationship that existed between them and God was broken, because God is a perfect God and He cannot fellowship with sin. So they were chased out of the Garden of Eden. But even God doing that was because He loved them, because first He killed an animal and made clothes for them out of the animal's skin and covered them, but they were released from the Garden of Eden. So the perfect relationship that existed between man and God was broken. And so until that point, it said that now there will be consequences of sin. And the consequences of sin will be death. And then, who then will save man from sin? And so God promised when you read chapter 3 verse 15, He said that the seed of woman, when He was cursing the serpent, He said that the seed of woman will come and crush your head. Stay with me, okay? So they were chased out of the Garden of Eden, but God was already speaking about Jesus who will come. And we see out of generation, people that are born out of Adam and Eve, human beings that are born as sinful people who cannot save themselves from the power of sin and death. And in the Old Testament, we see how they were living. They will offer sacrifices. They will kill animals, they will do a lot of sacrifices in order to be able to appear before God. They did everything to be able to clean themselves from sin. But even that, no animal's blood could cleanse us from the filthiness of the sin that we commit every day.